and like literally fucking bouldering in and tackling the problem head on is a incredibly and exceedingly rare police W. Let's get started. Police released body cam video of response to school massacre. We covered this yesterday, but
learn more about the 6 lives lost, including 3 young children. Alex Perez is in Nashville with the latest. Good morning, Alex.
Hey, good morning, George. This body camera video is our first glimpse at the sheer terror inside the school during that shooting. Authorities believe the officers' quick actions saved lives.
Let's go!
This morning, Metro Nashville Police releasing the dramatic body camera footage of those terrifying moments officers arrived at the Covenant School Monday, an active shooter already inside. Officers arriving quickly at the private Christian school immediately met by...
It is pretty wild. It's like, you know how we say like fucking dog bites man, doesn't make the news, man bites dog, it makes the news. This is a man bites dog moment for cops. Like police actually fucking rising to the occasion and like literally fucking bouldering in and tackling the problem head on is a incredibly and exceedingly rare police W. So, you know, that we're gonna see this footage be played a lot. There will be a movie made about this. You know, obviously, when you compare this to like Uvalde, you see why everyone is going crazy over it. Where's ACAP Keg W? I mean, first and foremost, I don't know how these guys fucking operate in the real world regularly, but this is the one instance where cops are supposed to be doing the right thing, and they did it. You know, W where W is deserved. Like, you know, what do you mean? Are we just gonna act like 2,000 fucking, or what is it, 1,000 police murders? More often than not is not like this, by the way. Is all of a sudden just something that we shouldn't even consider because these guys did the right job, like they did the violence where they're supposed to do violence. Notice how in a lot of those other murders, you don't have body camera footage and they hide it instead of immediately releasing it. You want to know why? Because they did the job here. They did the correct job here. So they immediately released the body camera footage. In all those other ones, the body camera just simply fails to work for some reason. So come on. Having said that, I've never been an advocate for like the full and complete abolition of any kind of like democratized militia that is doing the same functions that the police are supposed to do in theory. I am in favor of some form of organization that does what police are supposed to do. If anything, I want the police to do what they're theoretically supposed to do and actually protect and serve the people and not protect and serve capital. This is great. More of this, please. Okay?
By staff.
The kids are all locked down, but we have 2 kids that we don't know where they are.
Okay.
Entering the building, sirens blaring.
Metro Police, open the door!
Meticulously going door to door.
Is there anything to the idea that cops are saying how good they did, but 6 people still died? Isn't it obvious what needs to be done here? Yeah, of course. I have brought that up as well. It's that like even when the police do the absolute best job that they could, and they did that here, 100%. They got a call, 14 minutes in, they fucking neutralized the shooter in a school. That's like they fucking dove in. You got a shooter with like weapons. That's a terrifying situation. They cleared all the fucking rooms and they did the absolute best, what they're supposed to be doing in this circumstance. It's not an easy thing to do. It is a very, very hard thing to do to just like dive into a fucking school when the shooter could be in any corner. You know they have a gun. You know they've used it already. You know that you could be killed. It's brave. It's a very brave thing. Make no mistake. But the reason why 6 people still died is because our legislators are supposed to do something about this. Okay? Because this is the maximum. This is the max output. You know what I mean? This is the best that they can do. Now it's time for the fucking legislators to do their job, which they're not going to do. Does that make sense? Because no matter how well cops do their fucking job, and this is a rare moment where they did do it, right? Ultimately, we cannot fucking fix these issues without any sort of legislative reform. But of course, that Tennessee representative very openly stated that he is not interested in doing anything. So if you want to get a better understanding of how your legislators feel about the problem and how whether or not it should be fixed, Tennessee Representative Burchett straight up said, we're not going to fix it. Like, actually said that. They completely failed on the preventative level by ignoring a 911 call hours beforehand. That's not true. It wasn't hours beforehand. What actually happened is the shooter informed a friend from middle school when they played basketball together about what they were intending to do, but it was vague. Okay? That friend called the suicide hotline because those messages, those DMs on Instagram looked like this person was suicidal, but not necessarily interested in doing something violent. Then the suicide hotline told the person to call the cops instead. And by the time, as far as I understand, by the time that this person had called the cops, it was too late. The shooter had already entered the school. So it doesn't even seem like they failed spectacularly on the preventative measure side either.
Or body camera capturing police clearing each classroom, a bathroom, and down the hall,
Sounds like it's upstairs.
the officers, realizing the shooter had taken a position on the second floor common area, rushing up the stairs.
Reloading! Clear! Move!
Within 3 minutes of arrival, officers Rex Engelbert and Michael Colazzo zeroing in, opening fire, killing the shooter. The horrific tragedy leaving 3 young children and 3 staff members dead. Police say the shooter was a former student at the school.
This church building was a target of the shooter, but we have no information at present to indicate that the shooter was specifically targeting anyone.
And this morning, new details about the shooter's actions before the rampage. Investigators speaking with the parents of the 28-year-old suspect, Audrey Hale, who police say was born female but identified as transgender. Authorities learning that the
Wait, why didn't they just say identifies as transgender male? What the fuck? It's been like 3 days at this point. Listen, this isn't like defending. This isn't literally like defending the shooter or anything. This is me criticizing the media. Like, your job as the media is to give people the accurate information. Okay? If a mass shooting happened and a cis man did it, and the media was like, well, this was a woman, you'd be like, what the fuck? What do you mean? You can't, what? Like, it blows my fucking mind that like 3 days in, the media still like identifies as transgender. Just say that is a trans man. That's it. Like, that's your job as the media is to deliver factually correct information. What the fuck is happening? Like, I understand why originally there was a lot of confusion, but that's crazy. Like, this makes no fucking sense. Here comes Steven Crowder. No, like, listen. I think people genuinely do not understand what I'm saying or deliberately misunderstand what I'm saying. Like, this person is a piece of shit. They're a fucking monster. Doesn't matter if they have been victimized or not. They are a fucking monster. They killed 3 9-year-old children and 3 adults, okay, that had nothing to do with anything, okay? They're a fucking monster. Everybody recognizes that. Everybody understands that. And if you are defending this fucking monstrous person, you're a piece of shit or delusional in a scary way. Or you're on Twitter. You're an average Twitter user. One or the other, okay? But, like, it makes no sense that the media... it makes no sense that the media would not do their fucking job right. You know what I mean? It's like, your job is to literally give us the accurate information, stupid. Like, it makes no sense. Like, I don't understand. Like, what the fuck? Anyway,
The shooter legally purchased 7 firearms from 5 different local gun.
This part is also insane, but expected, but also insane. And we should take, this is probably the most informative and most important part of it, that like someone who is suicidal can go and purchase 7 fucking weapons legally and just like, you know, go and shoot them. Shoot those weapons at children. Was it known by the gun stores that this person was suicidal? Interesting question. Don't you think that there should be a law that dictates that if you are suicidal, let's work through this. If you're suicidal, you shouldn't be able to purchase a gun. That's my take. Okay, if you have chronic depression, you should not be able to have a gun. I've said this many times over. People have said I'm ableist or whatever, but like it's for your own benefit. It's not even for the benefit of others. It's for your own benefit. And I think a lot of people would agree with that if they really, really worked it through. Right? Veterans, fucking non-veterans, civilians, everyone that is suicidal, has chronic depression, should not have access to guns, right? How do we document that? For the regular sale of guns. There you go. Great question. Mental health evaluations should be an absolute necessity for gun purchases. It should be a part of the background checks that should be universal. That would be a limiting factor in access to weapons. 54% of gun deaths in this country are suicides, okay? And a big chunk of the 54%, if not almost all of it, in the suicides are men. A lot of people love talking a big game about how like male suicide is on the rise, but they don't want to do anything about the contributing factors there. They don't want to do anything that limits it. You can say worst take all you want, brother. Bad take, worst take. Yeah. That's the reality of America, by the way, where you can be like saying the most sane thing that 99% of the planet would agree with, but like there is the 1% of Americans that are like, dude, that is so dumb. How dare you? Like, what do you mean? You think that people with chronic depression shouldn't be able to have guns? Like, wow, dude, fuck you. And the unfortunate reality there is that there are a lot of people in America that do actually agree with that. They look at that and they're so conditioned into like immediately fucking pushing back that they go crazy. And for you saying you mean 30%, Lamau, no, I said 1% of the entire planet's population. 1% of the entire planet's population means America has 4% of the entire planet's population. That would be a quarter of Americans. So that's what I mean. The 1% of the entire planet's population would be like, you know, give or take 30% of Americans, which I don't even think it's 30% of Americans. It's probably even lower than that because it's such a reasonable take. Depressed people shouldn't be allowed to protect themselves. Brother, if you're a depressed person, which you clearly aren't, okay, and you're speaking for depressed people right now, if you're a depressed person, gun control is protecting you. You know that? Gun control of the sort that I am describing would protect you because the likelihood that you will turn the gun on your own fucking mouth and shoot yourself in the face is significantly higher than you actually, defending yourself against like a home invasion style scenario that you made up in your mind. Okay? So what I'm describing is literally protecting depressed people. Gun control protects depressed people more than the fantasy that you made up in your mind where like, depressed John Wick is going to kill everyone that tried to fucking harm his dog. Spin-off franchise opportunity, depressed John Wick. So what? He just fucking... It's just him constantly trying to unlock his gun safe over and over again. For 3.5 hours, is that what we're talking about?
Stores. 3 of those weapons used to carry out the attack.
She was under doctor's care for an emotional disorder. Law enforcement knew nothing about the treatment she was receiving, but her parents felt that she should not own weapons. As it turned out, she had been hiding several weapons within the house.
This community now mourning, remembering those lost, and the terrified expressions on those young faces.
Don't speak for depressed people. I want to be armed, but I won't be able to under your gun control. Yes, because unfortunately, your Unfortunately for you, chatter, depressed chatter, it is legitimately better for you to not have guns, okay? Like, this is objectively a fact, okay? If you care about suicide in this country, then you should understand that what I'm saying is objectively a fact, okay? If you care about male suicide in this country, especially, then you have to understand that what I'm saying is quite literally a factually accurate statement. Not an opinion, is just how things work. Okay? And most depressed chatters, most chatters with chronic depression who have attempted to take their lives in the past, including a lot of the veterans in this community, will tell you that that is correct. It's quite literally better for your own safety to not have a gun. The fact that I have spent the past 20 minutes describing this like incredibly basic, factually correct statement to a group of individuals from the United States of America that are stating that like my objectively correct statement in this circumstance is like somehow a matter of discussion or a point of contention, basically tells you where we're at. Like it shows you how far Americans are down the Kool-Aid spectrum. Let's continue.
Katie Robbins lives near the school and sprung into action.
So I ran outside and I just said, "I'm a mom. How can I help you?" And this little boy looked up at me and I will.
Marks also doesn't agree with you, for the record. Yeah, I don't care. Marks also didn't shower famously and lived in filth. Like, oh man, wait, not the prophet Karl Marx, dude. Not the prophet Karl Marx. That's crazy. He said by no means, should the proletariat and the proletariat arming itself should be suppressed. That's, man, I didn't realize that Karl Marx, the prophet of communism, the religion that I believe in, was saying that under no pretext should you ever be able to disarm the proletariat. That's crazy. Again, keep telling us how you are really a fucking lib. Yes, being a liberal is about like how you deviate away from the surahs of the prophet Karl Marx. Not even the main shit, but the surahs. You know what I mean? Like you can't even. I don't care. Yeah, I'm a fucking lib, man. Suck my cock, idiot. Like, there you go. Yeah, I'm a liberal. Oh no. How about that? Only in your delusional fucking Discord circles do you literally think that this is like a negative thing, okay? This is not one of those circles, okay? I do use liberal as a pejorative regularly because it's not what I believe in, but if you consider that to be like, if you consider your LARPing take on what you suspect Karl Marx would say about like fucking mentally ill people who are suicidal having access to weapons, I don't know what to tell you. Not on Discord. I actually just read books, fuckface. Yeah. Great. Thanks. Maybe you should read less of them because regardless of how many books you fucking read, it seems to me like your brain is not working right now about addressing the actual problem in front of you. Suck my dick, lib. Okay, shut up, dude. Ay. Fucking annoying, dude. So many friendless perverts in the fucking chat have to be like, I'm the most leftist person. I can't even have like a normal fucking conversation. Like every fucking dumbass is like, no, dog, you don't understand. It's like literally buying a $5,000 kitted out fucking AR-15 is actually what every proletarian needs to do, especially if they are fucking, chronically depressed or have suicidal ideations. Like that's how it works. Just go do something productive. Okay. Like, talking about how big of a fucking leftist you are in the chat is not actually going to help you, okay? Here, I'm going to give you a 30-minute timeout. Yeah, like I always say, some of you fucking dumbass leftists need to stop reading theory and read the room, okay? What about the unintended consequences of people further avoiding mental health diagnosis, which would make the problem worse? I'd rather see more robust emergency systems in place for the call and get help immediately. I think all these people desperately wanted out at some point and had nowhere to go. Fair. I've always advocated for that though. But this is only one of the This is only one of the many other issues. This is one of the many other factors that play a role, okay? A lot of you, instead of joining the fucking proletarian, revolutionary vanguard, are just in the Twitch chat being like, I'm actually leftier than fucking dumbass himbo Twitch streamer HasanAbi. Okay, congratulations, dude. You're more left than me, I think.
We'll never forget the look in his eyes. He said, help me get inside here. How do I get inside here?
3 children killed, all just 9 years old. Hallie Scruggs, a daughter of the school's senior pastor, her father in a statement saying, we are heartbroken. She was such a gift. Evelyn Dickhouse, her family writing, our hearts are completely broken. We cannot believe this has happened. Evelyn was a shining light in this world. And young
You know, gun ownership is an American brain rot with 2-year subs with septum piercing and polycules are popping off on how they need to also own a gun. Yeah, it's like, this is a universal value in the United States of America. So it's, of course, not shocking that, like, inevitably some of the mass shooters over the course of many, many years are going to be trans because they're American, ultimately. They have ease of access to arsenals. That's it. That's how that works. Obviously, that doesn't mean that, like, everyone that buys a weapon is going to do a fucking mass shooting or anything like that. But it is, of course, going to happen. Like, it's the most understandable thing.
William Kinney. The adult victims all worked at the school. 61-year-old substitute teacher Cynthia Peak. Her family writing, she was a pillar of the community and a teacher beloved by all her students. 61-year-old custodian Mike Hill, a father of 7 children and grandfather to 14. His family writing in a statement, Michael was beloved by the faculty and students who filled him with joy for 14 years. And the adored head of the school, Catherine Kuntz, who was 60 years old.
And authorities say the shooter had no previous criminal record. Investigators are still trying to pinpoint an exact motive.
Well, hey there, GMA fans.
Why does this combo always roll around banning fucking guns? All you need is better laws to make them a bit less accessible so everyone and their dog doesn't have an assault rifle. Every other comparable nation does this. You can still have guns in Canada, for example. You just got to jump through a couple of hoops that are in place for safety reasons. Yeah. A lot of people don't understand that, like, a big deterrent for crime is not necessarily that, like, you'll definitely go to jail or whatever. A big deterrent for crime is just, like, making it harder, like making it more annoying. Okay, straight up, that is literally a major deterrent for crime. You have to make it, like, a little bit more difficult, not less difficult, just a little bit more. You got to put in more effort. Okay, that's it. And with that, you basically fucking eradicate a gigantic chunk of suicides immediately, right? Make it more difficult. You have to, like, lie to be able you have to lie on your mental evaluation to be able to get a gun. And, like, that's going to be a factor under penalty of perjury. You know what I mean? Like, that's going to be a huge factor for a lot of people. It's going to stop them from being able to get a gun.